and good evening. I'm Melisa Idris. Welcome to The Future is Female. This is the show where we find the extraordinary in every woman. I'm delighted to introduce my guests today. They are one of the most successful player-coach duos in women's sport. Nicol David and Liz Irving rewrote squash history, not just with titles and records, but with a partnership built on trust, respect, and mutual drive of two women at the top of their game. So I'm delighted to welcome Datuk Nicol David, a former world squash champion and founder of Nicol David Organisation, as well as Liz Irving, who is a professional squash coach. Welcome to the show, both of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have long wanted to speak to the both of you because many regard you both as really one of the most successful player-coach duos in women's sports. So I wanted to talk about that. Was it, how rare or significant was it at the time? Maybe you can put it into context for me. For a woman to be coaching another woman at that highest elite sport level. Nicol, maybe you can start.
Well, it's really rare. For starters, I had a female coach even in my junior years when I started. So to have a female coach growing up and then in my professional career having Liz to take me through is not very often you see that around, and to be that successful as well. So I credit the fact that when you have a female coach, they understand women athletes better because they've been there before and the experience takes over. So, and then just the bond that we have carried through. So you don't see that very often. Even in squash in particular at the time, there was none, hardly anyone.
Really?
And it was just us, and we showed the world that it's possible, and we really made a good show.
Yeah, we did. And I mean, look, at that time, there were no female coaches.
Yeah.
Really? I was the only coach travelling as a coach to a professional player. So I guess we didn't realise what we were doing at the time, but we kind of organically kind of grew into it, and the records, I guess, spoke that it was a great partnership.
So at the time, there were very few women coaches. Why do you think that was?
I think in those days, when I say in those days, it's not that long ago. But
2000s, right?
Yeah, well, it's getting on now.
Oh, it's about 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Yes. 20 years ago, yes.
I just don't think they were encouraged to be in that space. Okay. I think it was very much a space for men to be coaching in.
May I ask how you ended up in that space? You yourself a professional player?
I was. I played professionally for nearly 20 years, and I kind of fell into coaching, and then I was coaching at a big club in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, called Squash City, which is a fantastic club. And yeah, I just started coaching one of the top players in the country there, and she went on to be world champion. And at that time, I started having an academy, and then this one came along and came to train for a little bit, and we just clicked, and that's kind of how it started.
Wonderful.
So it was never planned. It just, I think, you know, we kind of found each other, and we realised that we held the same values, and you know, and I knew her as a kid as I was a professional player. So yeah, it just seemed to be a really nice natural progression.
And how long did that working relationship last?
16 years.
16 years.
So when I moved out of Malaysia, I was 18, and I went straight to Amsterdam to work with Liz. And up till I retired. So yeah.
Okay. So Liz is the last coach you ever had.
Yes, basically, and the longest. And I believe that it was just all about trust in the whole process. From the beginning, when I went there, knowing that I needed to really change and transform my game to match up with the best in the world. And Liz, in her side, that she knew how to cope with that top players like coming at you, the different styles, the techniques, the tactics that I had to really get ready for, and the pressure as well, that I was so excited and motivated to take it on. And when I was 18, I was just raring to go. I was just wanting to learn, and but it was tough because I had to break a lot of things down and relearn, and I had to go 2 steps back to go forward, you know. But it was worth it because I could see it come to life every time I'm training with Liz. everything seems to work out well, and I know that I was on the right path.
Right. So you mentioned a bit earlier, having a woman as a coach, maybe there was an understanding between the two of you that maybe a man might not have. Could you explain, maybe elaborate, in what ways did that give you an advantage? That having a woman coach will understand a woman athlete in ways that a man may not?
Very simple days when I can just go on court and I'm just a bit grumpy and I'm not getting my shots right on training, and then Liz would just come up to me and go like, you know, is this the time of the month? Or, you know, are you feeling okay? And I think just being a female, you understand women athletes straight away, and she just knows me the minute I step onto the club. Like, she knows how I am, when I'm at my lowest, she knows exactly what to do and how to handle the situation, or give me some time to speak to me. And when you have that perception and that empathy, and her way of coaching is always nurturing and encouraging, she's there for you, you know, and that's where the female aspect, probably there's a bit more empathy, I think that comes in the mix. I'm not disregarding men, but it's just more like that we know each other. She's been there on the tour before. She knows what it's like to be a female athlete on tour, competing at the very top. So she's sharing her experiences with me, and I just sort of hear and follow her steps along the way.
You have a lived reality of it, don't
That's
you?
right, that's right. And I guess when I was playing, we were just trying to find our way. You know, we didn't have people guiding us, and so I guess that, you know, that makes you, I guess, quite good in being able to take that role on as a coach and a mentor, and understand the struggles, you know, that, and certainly, you know, young women heading off overseas on their own, arriving in a foreign country,
and so young, 18 years old is really young,
really young.
to, and that actually speaks volumes, because you were 18, is it, when you and that was a 16-year working, so you would have grown up in under Liz's kind of coaching, right?
Yes, she started out a bit like a daughter, and then, you know, the relationship grew into this, you know, being very equal with each other, and a real coach-mentor relationship. Talk
to me about that, how the relationship or the roles evolved, because I'm sure many people think, oh, you know, coach-player relationship is obey, and there's a lot of direction. In the 16 years that you were working together, and as your career progressed, and as your skills and ability became better, was there any kind of evolution in the relationship?
I think there was evolution in my coaching,
in your coaching,
which improved our relationship, because here you've got an athlete that is just amazing. Her skill level, her mental state, everything she's like a Formula One car.
Wow.
So, you know, you're dealing with someone that's the highest, so that's a lot of responsibility. And, you know, some days we'd train together and I'd just come off the court and think, wow, I learnt something there. So I think that was where the changeover happened. I started to see this athlete evolve with these amazing skill set, and improving as a player, being more than 1 times world champion, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And that's when you start to really go on to a whole other level as a coach and a player. It's not so much I'm having to coach her, teach her how to swing the racket and do all these things. It's, you know, this evolution of change, I guess, and growth.
What makes Nicol such a good player? What makes her a once-in-a-generation squash player?
I think one of the biggest strengths for Nicol is, even though she'd won 5 world titles, she still listened and trusted me as a coach. I mean, she could have thought at that point, well, I know more than you now, but that was never the case. So this trust was really immense, and also her ability to focus under pressure, being able to, I guess, you know, prepare for matches, follow a game plan. You know, it's easy to give a player a game plan, but a lot of them stray off it. And they struggle to get back to it. But we'd set game plans. She'd play the game plan, she'd come off the court, she'd win, and we'd be like, wow, you followed the game plan, it was great.
What you're supposed to. I don't, sometimes when Liz says that, and I go like, well, I'm supposed to, so if I don't follow, then I'll lose, right? And Liz says, no, nobody follows the game plan, or nobody actually continues to keep on training in the program, because, so I just kept to it, because I knew that if I kept to what Liz told me, I would follow, I'll be on track, and I'll be winning, and I'll be progressing. So I just kept trusting the process and worked as hard as I can to get there.
Trusting the process, absolutely. Yeah. So that was the evolution of your working relationship. Talk to me about when you decided to retire, and how that, so the shift that had to happen when you decided to retire, Nicol.
So actually, the moment that I really realized that I had to retire was when Liz asked me this question. After the US Open in 2017, I lost to a player from Hong Kong in the second round. And when I came out, I was gutted, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was just feeling lost. But Liz asked me this question, like, you know, you don't seem like yourself anymore, and is it really, do you still want to keep playing squash? And I was like, yeah, of course, I'll play for another 5 years. Absolutely, you know, why are you asking me this question? And so she's like, no, just think about it. Just be a bit honest with yourself, and just take your time and think about it. And when I went back to the hotel and I really took that question, I just like, waterworks all over the place, because I knew it was time, and so I gave myself like 2 years, that I only had 2 years left to push myself, because mentally and physically, I mean physically I could keep going, but mentally I just took so much out of me to be at #1 for 9 consecutive years, and you just don't have that edge anymore to win.
Is that part of elite sportsmanship, where you have seasons of, you know, real motivation, and other seasons you find yourself needing to remind yourself why you're in the love for the sport?
There are seasons, but because I didn't have a season, I didn't have an injury,
you didn't have a break.
I didn't have a break. I just, from 18 years old, I trained all till and I don't think I took any breaks for that whole time. So it was for 13 years.
13 years without a break.
Like really just pushing until that point of like being in 2014. Goodness. It's when I just, no, it was like 12, 13 years, and I just went, something kind of broke. And then Liz sort of just brought it up. I was pushing myself and not finding something to grab onto, and she just wanted to ask me that question to really go into it deeper. And then I just took that 2 years to let go of squash and slowly open my mind to possibilities after, and that's where the foundation and everything came about, to be open to learning something new, to be exploring what's to come, and that's when I could let go of squash and be happy to retire.
Yeah. I mean, but what a wonderfully compassionate but insightful comment. You don't seem like yourself. What was it that you saw?
I saw a champion that was feeling defeated, you know, and finding it really hard to find that magic that she had before, you know, but to have that magic for 9 years, world #1, uninterrupted, took so much mentally to do that. And then once you start to lose that, it's very hard, you know, because other things start happening in your life, and maybe a little doubt, and then you're still working. And so I think it's just about having that space to, you know, look for other answers, have the time to decide, is it now time, is it not? And I don't think it really crossed your mind to stop, you know, and it was like, well, it's worth thinking about, because...
Was that what happened to you? Did someone, when you made the decision to retire yourself, did someone come up to you and say, Liz, you don't seem like yourself?
Well, no, my problem was I had to retire for injury.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So, but yeah, and in those days there just wasn't the support, I guess, to be able to get over a few major injuries. So for me it was a natural progression to then move into coaching, and it was the best. I mean, I think I enjoyed my coaching life much more than my professional playing life.
Wonderful.
So, you know, that was a really good transition for me at the time.
Okay, and your next chapter, Nicol, so transitioning from world champion squash, professional squash player to the foundation. So talk to me a bit about that, because you are now foregrounding the thought that sports should be a mental health intervention, that we should build this into our mental health response. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so initially when I wanted to have my foundation, and with my co-founder and CEO, Mariana, we both wanted to see a positive future for children and the next generation, and I wanted to give back to all that I've learned from my squash and the values that sports has to offer to children. So that's where the Nicol David Organisation came about. And when you have sport in your life, you build the fundamentals for children to be confident, to be more disciplined, to have like teamwork, community, all these things just by playing sport. So our foundation now has 3 pillars. One is a after-school program, which is called Little Legends, and we have a squash training and English classes, and we have 150 kids in that program. We have a family pillar where we support the mothers of the children, and we give mental health workshops and financial literacy workshops, and that's where we have about 75 mothers in the program. And then our very important program this year, we launched an outreach program, and it's called Positive Play. So we combine positive psychology and physical activity, and we go into schools and we do a 4-week intervention. So we will have more kids. This is the most important one. We have more kids moving. Not just using sport, but physical activity, fundamentals, whether it's running, it's jumping, just playing games, having fun with friends. And we want to tap onto the kids that don't play any sport in school. We want to tap on the 80% that are just not moving. Right. They're on their devices, or they're just too busy with maybe studying, but sport really helps them to become academically better, because they are more alert, they can focus better, they can time manage just by
that's quite shocking, 80%. Isn't that a shocking figure?
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Is it cultural? Is it a lack of understanding what sports can bring? Or do we just dismiss this as, or we prioritize kind of academic excellence?
The priority is academic excellence, but in the process we don't correlate sport or movement to successful successful students. Because if I didn't have sport in my life, I wouldn't be a good student. I'll be so lazy. I'll be watching TV.
Discipline, right? Total discipline.
And being active. So if you're active, your brain functions better, and then you're more alert. So I think that is kind of missing, and we really want to cultivate that, hence why we are doing the Sports and Mental Health Summit, where we want to bring all different parties, different sectors, to come together and know that we can use sport and physical activity as a tool to combat mental health. And now more than ever, with the rise of the crisis of mental health issues, not just in the youth level, but all around, we need the nation to be more active, and this is like our real call to bring this to the forefront, and hence why we are having this summit to make it known.
I like that. I also like that it goes beyond sport, and it also includes movement, right? So any kind of healthy activity, move your body, get outside, maybe get some fresh air. One of the things that I came across when I was doing some research for our conversation was the gender participation gap in sports, and I didn't realize how many girls drop out of sports or have any kind of game, outdoor games at adolescence. So United Nations report, slightly older, found that at puberty a girl's confidence drops 2 times than that of boys, and 50% of girls drop out of sports. Liz, is that something that you've observed as well? Just
absolutely
being in the world?
I think that's in every country, and I don't know where that comes from. I don't know, but I think that if these girls or children get active in their early years and make that a priority, they become healthier adults in the long run, don't they? It's just a natural progression. So I guess it's trying to get the habits in there early,
yes,
and building that resilience and the confidence for certainly young girls to continue with sport, and create an environment. If they're not comfortable in one environment, find an environment where they can feel okay to be doing sport, certainly in those puberty years. And so there's something that's happening there, isn't there?
Yes.
And I don't know what it is, but maybe it's to do environmentally, that they're not happy in that class, or that maybe they're disrupted by other things. Well, let's find a way. How can we create those environments for girls that are not comfortable there? So you have a two-part issue, and that could be something that schools could even do. Have you know, environments for those that aren't happy in that.
Find an environment that can, because I absolutely agree. I think it's it changes the course of somebody's life if they drop out of sports at that pivotal, crucial time of development, right? Nicol, did you see the gender participation gap as well?
For sure, like I'm the 20% of the sporty girl that is that's always playing all the sports, but funny enough, when you go into the schools, which our program is going into schools, we see that like if you give them access to playing sport or just doing movement or playing games, they realize that they can do it, because I think just in general we feel that if you want to be active you have to play a sport, but it's not true. You can just run, you can just have fun with your friends in school, playing like dodgeball. That's what we bring in, like captain ball, and just fun things that they go, hey, this is fun. Now we got so much feedback that, and girls in particular, they need to do this so that they have a better self-perception of themselves. And we've done surveys with all our kids, and actually the self-perception has gone up. The activity rate has gone up, and we've already covered over 900 children in the last 6 months, with like about almost 28 schools, maybe 30 schools now.
Wow. What do you think that is? That when you play sport, your self-perception, your self-confidence grows. What is that correlation? Would you hypothesize what that could be?
I'd just say it's a sense of personal achievement. If you can do it, you feel good. So you think, well, I like to feel good, so I want to keep doing it. You know, it's
very simple. But no one use it so much. You know, it's right there. It's just a matter of giving them that access and that ability. That okay, why don't you try it? And they go, oh, I can do it. And that is just like knowing that they are already able to do something. Why not do more? And that's the first step. If they don't get that exposure, then they just be like, oh, I'm not an athlete. You know, my friend is an athlete, I'm not one, but I can be active now.
Maybe there's identifying, and also it doesn't always have to be about being competitive. You know, there's also a lot that don't want to be competitive, that they want to have fun playing sports. So sometimes I guess they get funneled into that way of having to be competitive when they don't want to, so then it becomes too much, so they drop out. So I guess it's just maybe having sort of identification of saying, you know, if the kid doesn't want to be competitive, it's fine. Let's put them somewhere where they can have fun and not be competitive.
Listen to the kids,
That's
right?
it.
What it is that they want. So how are you enjoying this new chapter of your life? What made you passionate about wanting to address children and movement and sports and mental health?
Well, I believe that sport is such a strong tool to be used for mental health, and you don't have to even think about it. The moment you are moving and you're doing something, you're already feeling better. They're happier. In our foundation, the kids are happy. When we do the activities in school, they're all happy, and that's the difference. You're getting happier kids, and that's what we want, to change that mindset of I can do something and move, and that alone helps mental health. So why don't we just do it more? So that's my...
So in the couple minutes that we have left, I want to ask the both of you, for anyone watching today, what would you want the next generation, especially women and young women, girls who may not see themselves in sport, who may not envision or do not have a life that is filled with movement, what would you like them to take away from your story, your passion?
I would like just women or girls out there or anyone to just start something with a friend or with their family, because if you do something with a community or someone that you are with, then you're having fun together,
Yeah.
or you're learning something together. And when that happens, you're also accountable with each other. So if someone is not feeling down, you have like a partner to
Like a buddy.
bring you, like a buddy,
training buddy.
Yeah, training buddy.
yeah, and
Training
also
buddy.
for kids, if parents want to bring their kids to a new sport, bring their friend along so that they are doing it together, and the friends are also like sharing that special time together.
Yeah.
So I think it needs to be done as a whole, so it becomes more fun.
Yeah.
Not so serious, because when you do a sport on your own, everything is focused on you. And if you do a mistake, it's all on you. And then that's when the dropout comes out. And so I think doing a sport or an activity together, walking in the park, dancing, having a good time, that's all I want.
Yeah, that's great, Liz.
I tend to agree. I just think, yeah, absolutely, spot on.
Bring a friend together, do it together,
Yeah.
right? Have
That's
fun.
it, even young adults. Even if you're
Absolutely.
30 to 50 and you haven't been to a gym or you haven't, get started.
Yeah.
Get a training buddy, get one of your friends. Let's go along.
Yeah.
Same
Wonderful.
thing.
Both of you, thank you so much for being here, sharing your message, and also sharing your story. The lovely friendship this has been over so many years. Thank you for being here with me today. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's all the time we have for you on this episode of The Future is Female. I'm Melisa Idris, signing off for the evening. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.